cape. One holds the heart, one opens the gate. Stories of streamers, life behind the glow, mental health, hustle, and learning as we go. Two paths meet in a world we create. One keeps it grounded, one celebrates. This is the compass and the cape, where real meets raw. We laugh, we lift, we learn from the fall. From stream talk to soul talk, we won't fake. Come get real with the compass and the cape. It's okay to pause, to heal, to relate. It's time to tune into the compass and the cape. She's got the compass, she's got the cape. One holds the heart, one opens the gate. Stories of streamers, life behind the glow, mental health, hustle, and learning as we go. Two paths meet in a world we create. One keeps it grounded, one celebrates. This is the compass and the cape, where real meets raw. We laugh, we lift, we learn from the fall. From stream talk to soul talk, we won't fake. Come get real with the compass and the cape. It's okay to pause, to heal, to relate. It's time to tune into the compass and the cape. This is the compass and the cape, where real meets raw. We laugh, we lift, we learn from the fall. From stream talk to soul talk, we won't fake. Come get real with the compass and the cape. It's okay to pause, to heal, to relate. It's time to tune into the compass and the cape.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Compass and the Cape.
Woo! Hey guys, happy Sunday. I got my coffee.
I hope everybody's having a good day so far. Everybody's had a great week. It's definitely been a long one for us. And will continue to be. We've got lots to share.
Yes, we have a lot going on. I'm glad to see you guys today. Let's see. Today we were going to have a special guest today. But as you know, if you saw the TikTok, life happens, schedules change, so we had to pivot. And today we're going to be talking about Mental Health Awareness Month and going over some of those things and talking about mental health with in line with being a social content creator or a streamer today. And then at the very end, I also have a few links for some resources for you guys if anybody is interested in getting into more detail about the things that we will be talking about today. And to begin with, me and Hero, we're going to be going over some updates for the community that are coming up this week and some things that we're going to be getting into.
Yeah, so we got a lot of really great things happening. So the community, we want to use a piece of this time to kind of shout out all the different things that you guys are doing in the community, because we feel like that needs to be shared, right? So that we can all kind of go and support each other. So there are several of you, I know for sure, probably have a ton of things going on this week that I will not mention because I didn't know about it. Which leads me to my next piece is, if you have an event that you would love for us to talk about and shout out for the upcoming week, please join the Discord for the Compass and the Cape. Yes. And drop that event in our channel. There's a specific channel for that. So that way when we log in and we do these live, I actually can kind of give them a shout out and bring people, bring awareness to those events. And then we actually have a time shout out that will actually scroll through the chat, because you guys know, like, as we're live, we don't really get to participate in chat until the Q&A at the end. So just because ADHD, and we would get completely lost in chatting with you guys and not like we would just get off track. So
There's a reason why I need a compass.
you're right. So with that being said, the 3 main ones, really 4, but we're actually a part of the 4 for what's coming up this week. But there's 3 main events that's coming. So Grumpy Old Fart Gaming has a salty giveaway, and so he's been doing it I think starting last week sometime, but it ends on the 9th at 12 p.m. So he's doing a giveaway, so it's 2 $50 gift cards, either one to Amazon or one to Steam. If you guys are interested in that, his link is actually going to be popping up in chat soon, so just be aware of that.
Those are some big prizes.
Yeah, right. Like that's a couple of games, you know, or some equipment or something. So, the link actually sends you to his page, so you can send him a message, and ask him for more detail. I think you have to join his Discord, in order to sign up for it. So just look out for that in chat. Also in the description later, once I upload this stuff, I'll share these channels in the description also, so you guys can get them. The other one is Unicorn Electric has a 24-hour streamathon coming. We think it's on Saturday or Sunday after the Helldivers 2 boot camp. Yeah. So again, we've shared her link to her Twitch page, so watch out for that. And then I'll actually drop them here soon also. But Baby Lee has a birthday stream coming up on the 7th. And I think it's also later in the day. I think it starts at 7. But also
early, Baby Lee.
It's actually late. It's a later stream.
Oh, is it late?
Yeah. Her birthday was last Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, happy belated birthday, Baby Lee. We love you.
Yeah. So again, I'll drop her links in here also, so that you guys have them, and then they'll be in the description afterwards. And then for our next stream, for next Sunday, you guys know that that's Mother's Day. So we actually won't be doing a live stream on Mother's Day. We'll do a pre-recorded stream earlier in the week, and then we would still post it that Sunday on YouTube, but then also Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and then we'll share the links for those too. So it's been a crazy week as we prepped for this podcast, and then also prepped for upcoming events. One of them being the Helldivers 2 boot camp. So Calm and I both
Democracy
have signed up for those, with Uni and Pancakes, and I think Rue and several others are the captains.
Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to play with in that, and or participate in that, fumble around, if you will, because we're brand new playing that. So I think I like literally just finished the tutorial. It seems fun, but we'll see how serious that we're trying to get here, because I'm just gonna have a good time and hope for the best, like I usually do.
I got a cape already, so I'm good. If that's my only achievement, I'm happy. I've done something.
I think I do want to. We talked about me sharing my tutorial experience, and then I'll pass.
Yeah, Hero was telling me about her experience with the tutorial today, and I was like, you have to share that with everybody in the beginning before we actually start the mental health stuff. Like, you got to tell everybody what happened.
Yeah, so I'll share that story, and then we'll kick the stream off. So the tutorial, I don't know however many of you have actually played Helldivers 2, but there's like a little tutorial you have to go through first, where you learn how to shoot and like dive and like navigate, like do all the things, right? All the controls. And so I make it through the tutorial piece, and then they send you to your ship, and you like name your ship. And I thought this was still part of the tutorial for some reason. So So you guys have to also understand, okay? I'm running on 24 hours myself, because I actually I prepped for some podcasts and streaming stuff, and then I actually streamed, and then I did some more, and then I did the tutorial around like 5 or 6 this morning. Okay, so I was already a little bit dead inside, and my like brain was not there. So as I'm on the ship, I go down where I guess you can sign up for missions. Like you can actually do missions now. And because I thought this was still part of the tutorial, I like signed up for one, right? Because I was like, oh, okay, this will be like what this is experience. Like this is what you would experience in a mission, right? So I get dropped off wherever, and then I see like this rando name pop up, like trying to talk to me. And I thought, for some reason, I thought this was like an NPC or something. And so the game notifications kept saying, hey, so-and-so is trying to send you something in chat. And I kept looking at it, and I was like, I don't care about this. Like, I don't care about talking to an NPC. Like, I'm sure I can figure out chat later. I'm trying to do this mission. So I get queued to like call for reinforcements, right? So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna throw the little thing. Obviously, see what I mean? I know nothing. Like I know no names for anything. Okay, I throw the thing, and then somebody drops down in the like whatever pod and then pops out. Okay, and so I thought it was the NPC guy, right? And he was following me around pretty good for NPC. And so I was like, I mean, he was covering me pretty good and everything. I was like, man, these NPCs are like way better than the Fortnite NPCs, you know, because those are trash. Let's be real, right? Like not helpful at all. And so, and then the guy, you know, the real life person, not NPC, okay, is like, he keeps getting like killed immediately because I'm focused on trying to like collect these things for this mission, and I'm not really worried about covering the NPC. So he's getting like eat up like every time
like,
these
I don't
bugs.
give a crap about this NPC.
Yeah, I was like, NPC, you're on your own. Like I'm trying to collect all this stuff, and yeah. So and then, but I would call for him to like get dropped, like I don't know, like regenerator or whatever the term is. I would call for him to come back every time because you know. Because of how helpful he was as an NPC when I
like,
needed
God,
him.
will you leave me alone?
Yeah. He's like, this is the worst partner ever. And then literally, because I wasn't covering him, because I thought he was an NPC, and when the ship came, I was just like trying to fight these things off on my own. Like I was trying to cover myself. And so the ending, I mean, I did make it onto the ship and I did complete the mission, but the other guy did not. I didn't cover for him.
What a surprise.
And it wasn't until we made it back to the ship where he's standing there and you know, he's like clapping, right? His character is like clapping. And I was like, oh, is this like part of my like NPC team or something that like drops with me? I don't know.
Oh, and, wait, he was clapping for you?
Yeah, like somehow he like was back on my ship and he's like clapping because I made it back, you know? And I was like, oh, these are like NPC teammates.
After all that, and he was clapping for you, man.
Well, I think it was
what
just,
a good
I don't know if he chose to do that. The game was probably like just made his character do that. But then I realized that he was not NPC after he bounced. Like as soon as we made it back, he like left the ship and I was like, oh shoot. Oh, sorry. real life person. That had to have been the craziest experience for you. So sorry. So, that was my first, 45 minutes in Helldivers 2, and that's been the only 45 minutes. So, hopefully the rest of my experience is better. I had a pretty good experience. Maybe not that person.
It took me 3 days to finish the tutorial and finally get my cape this morning.
Oh, God.
As I kept dying.
Oh, God. Oh, no. I hope none of the
Just
captains are
remember-
listening right now.
I already warned them in the Discord that it was going to be terrible. And just remember, there are several days where you and Toaster King are my teammates.
I'm gonna treat you like an NPC.
Do not treat me like an NPC. I already knew you were going to say that.
I'll be like, oh, no. This is an NPC right here. That's so funny. Okay, so that's all of our community announcements, and then that's the fun little story that we had to share, and now we'll just move on to the rest of the bit. Calm, you ready to head on up into the tree?
Yeah, let's go. Let's head to my tree house.
Okay, guys.
So happy to share my tree house with you guys.
Yep, let's go. We'll meet you up there. Ta-da! How's the climb?
I love my tree house, guys. Isn't it beautiful? Look, and we have the fireflies all around us.
Yeah.
Welcome to my little druidic retreat. Or as my husband War would say, my hippie shit. But I promise I'm not going to make you guys put your feet in the dirt today anyway. Although, by the way, I literally have some pictures. I had my coffee earlier today and I was feeling some type of way. So I went outside and I sat in the sun and I took my shoes off and let my feet introduce themselves to the ground for a while with some sunshine. So to try to reset myself. So today, guys, instead of having our guest that we were supposed to have, we, as you all know, well, you all may not know, but some of you may is Mental Health Awareness Month. And which I think is great. I love that there is now a month attributed to mental health awareness. Because those of us who are old can remember a time to where mental health and awareness for mental health wasn't talked about, period, let alone having a month for it. Nobody talked about it. Your parents didn't talk about it. Your grandparents didn't talk about it. Everybody in your families kept it hush hush. It just, we didn't talk about those kinds of things with people. And, but I also want to address the fact that mental health isn't just about a month. I'm glad that we do have a month to where it's recognized. But those of us who deal with mental illness and mental health, or who have loved ones who deal with mental health and mental illness, it doesn't end or go away at the end of May. It's still there and it's still with us, and it always will be. It doesn't just go away and magically disappear. So at the end of May, we're still left dealing with whatever mental illness that we struggle with. And on top of that, mental health illness is a invisible illness, and we are treated a lot of times that because it is a invisible illness, it's not something people can outwardly see on our bodies. Say, if we were in a wheelchair, or if we were, missing an arm, or if we were blind and couldn't see, um, you know, people, you get treated differently. So a lot of times, if people can't see it, then it doesn't exist. They forget about it. And I just wanted to go over this and kind of talk about this today, so everybody knows and realizes that you're not forgotten about. I haven't forgotten about you. Hero hasn't forgotten about you. And you are visible to us. And it matters. And we understand, or what I understand, because I have several diagnosed mental illnesses. And so I understand what it's like when you have a mental illness and no one can see it. So you get treated as normal, uh, like it doesn't exist. Um, and in a way where I wanted to tailor this not only to people who had mental health illness, but I wanted to tailor this to creators
Mm.
and streamers, because that puts a different kind of connotation on dealing with mental illness when you are a content creator or you are a streamer, because then you have mental illness and then you're also expected to perform, you're expected to be on, you're expected to be happy, show a smiling face, have personality, all of these things. And you have the camera rolling, you're making the content or the videos, and then the cameras come off and you're back to yourself. So it's like you're trying to be someone that maybe necessarily you don't feel like you are. And I have created this, what do we call this, Hero? What is this called?
I think
It's
it's
not a
nice, like,
pamphlet.
yeah, just like a little informational.
Yeah. It's not, sorry, ADHD brain. I got stuck on like a brain fart trying to what to call it. But I made this for you guys. For you guys to see some of the things that streamers and creators deal with and may have, that contribute to feeling that way. Yeah. Or a checklist. Um, Performance anxiety. What if no one shows up to your stream? What if I mess up on camera or I forget what I'm going to say? And then I will tell you, the forget what I'm going to say happens to me all the time. Like just a second ago with what to call this checklist, printout, whatever. My brain got stuck. Um So, or what if I sound boring or what if I sound awkward? One thing that I struggle with a lot is how I sound, because several reasons. My accent. I feel like I get judged a lot. I don't know if I really do or not, but my social anxiety tells me that I get judged a lot for my accent, that people um, judge my intelligence or whatever off of my accent. And also by how loud I get when I get excited or I'm laughing. I have a really loud laugh. I'm one of those people that when I laugh wholeheartedly. It's not like a little laugh. So I get really anxious about that. Um, Another thing is that when you have burnout and overcommitment, uh, I've seen a lot of you guys, like, you feel like you have to be online all the time, like you constantly have to stream, and then if you can't stream or something happens, you can't get online, it causes a lot of major stress. You get really upset, or you feel guilty, or you feel bad. You feel like you're letting your community down. You feel like you're letting your people down. But, you know, if you have a good community, the first thing they're going to want you to do is to take time for yourself.
Yeah.
and self-care, and make sure that you're happy and that you're not just streaming when streaming is the last thing that you want to do. Your community is going to want you to be happy, because when you feel good about streaming and you want to stream and you enjoy your content and you enjoy your streaming, your community is going to enjoy it as well. And that's also a regular streamer tip, like some of the things that Hero would normally handle, right, Hero?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I think, you can't, I've said this already, where I like on the podcast but even just one-on-one to several of you before, you can never say the right thing to the wrong people, right? And there's nothing but the right people in the room. And so that's even in,
I love that quote. I love you
yeah,
for that so much.
yeah, I love it. I love it.
We need to make a shirt with that on there,
Yeah.
or a sticker or something. We need to have that on something.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the right people will stick around and be there to support you no matter what. And they want you to be your best self. So, because these guys are cheering you on. And they're, for example, the catastrophe we had last night for my stream.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, we had an hour's worth of technical difficulty, and the stream literally the night before, we had an hour's worth of technical issue, and it was the same exact problem that I had. It was 2 nights in a row. We had the same problem. But when I tell you how supportive everybody was last night and the night before, literally I'd have to sign off, restart the computer and everything, just log back in and hope things worked. And in the beginning of like that first part of the hour, it wouldn't, and we'd have updates and we'd have all these things. And I just kept saying to myself, like, okay, because I knew I wasn't going to quit. I was going to figure this out. Okay. But I was trying to make in my mind be okay with the fact that if I came back on, because I was on and off so much, I was just going to be streaming by myself for the rest of the stream. It's like, well, I guess I'm just playing by myself at this point. And nobody did. Like everybody, the majority of people who came on initially came back, and every single time.
That's a great example of the community is when you have a good community and you have built a good foundation of community, like the whole time that Hero was having issues last night, everybody was like,
So
nobody,
supportive.
when she closed down and had to restart, everybody stayed in the chat. We had an emote party. We talked about different things and chatted about different things going on with different people, and we just, we enjoyed our time with each other. The community did.
Yeah.
While still supporting her. And even, she'd be like, does this work? Can you guys see this? Can you hear this?
All the feedback.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody was giving her lots of feedback. And that's one of the things that I wanted to highlight and talk about and show is that don't let that stress you out when that happens so much. Don't let that create a huge stressor for you, and I know that's hard to do because I myself go through it when I have issues. But when you have a good community and you have great people in your community and you have worked to build that foundation, they're going to stick with you and they're going to support you, and they understand because a lot of them are streamers too. So they go through the same thing, so they understand and they know. So, don't let the fear of judgment and criticism and things like that get to you. It's okay. Also, another thing is the comparison anxiety. Now, the Hero knows, and she'll tell you, I deal with this.
That's why I was like,
Yeah, you see her face? She was like, I'm not saying nothing, but So,
Tell him, Calm. Tell him.
hey, I will tell on myself. I am well aware of my issues. Yes, called out. She will call me out, and a lot of times I will call myself out. And then if I don't, she definitely will. We had a whole conversation about something completely different yesterday that she was like, okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, comparing yourself to other streamers, comparing yourself to other content creators. I say this all the time, guys, and this is so important. Please hear me when I say this. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yep.
As soon as you start comparing yourself to another creator or another streamer, you will start feeling miserable every time.
Yeah.
Every time. So if you can get into the habit and the practice that if you start realizing that you're doing it, to find a way to just stop it. Just don't do it at all. Because you don't know what that person is going through when they're not on the camera. You don't know what all that person is doing when the camera is not on. There is more to streaming than just sitting in front of the camera and playing games. A lot of you know that, but there are some out there, especially new baby streamers that are just starting out, that don't realize that. There is a lot of networking, which is really hard for people with mental illness, especially if you have social anxiety. Again, that was really hard for me. Me and Hero have had to have many conversations about that. I have never been a networking person. I believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe, but I am not a very outgoing social person. I've gotten a lot better, but I used to be extremely bad about it. So being a streamer and becoming a streamer and a content creator is really stretching me and pushing me beyond my boundaries that I've always had for myself and beyond my limits that I ever thought I was capable of. And some of that is very, it's very uncomfortable. When you grow, it's uncomfortable. But you have to be able to be comfortable with being uncomfortable to grow. Otherwise, as soon as you start feeling that uncomfortableness within yourself, if you back off and stop, then growth will never happen. You will stay in the same spot, the same place, the same mindset that you've always had, and it will never change. So you can't compare yourself to other people. And then some people, like there's people who can get on camera and they can talk and they have a way about talking, but you may not know that that person's been to college and specifically studied public speaking and things like that with people and with professors for several years. I mean, there's just no comparison there. You're not going to be able to speak like somebody who's been trained, professionally trained to do that.
Yep.
So the comparison, that's why those are some things. Like, if you guys can like make notes or just jot down these things, the performance anxiety, the numbers obsession, the burnout and overcommitment, the fear of judgment and criticism, and the comparison anxiety. Those are key things for you to remember always. And it doesn't matter if you've been streaming for a week or a year. Those are things that are going to consistently come up at different times throughout your content creating and streaming career.
If I could just add something here, Calm.
Yeah,
I think
go ahead.
that,
Feel free.
as a brand new streamer, because we all have been pretty new to this. I think something, like I think I started in December, Calm started in January. And so the comparing yourself to someone is it definitely is the thief of joy. There's also, because you can't look at somebody else, even if you started at the same time. You can't look at them and go, oh, they're going so much faster than me, or oh, they're doing all these cool things, like, oh, their stream is looking so clean, you know, blah blah blah, and then mine is looking like this, or I don't have as many followers or whatever.
Which I've done.
Yeah, but you're not the only one. 1,000%.
Yeah.
You know, maybe do your best to kind of switch that mindset up a little bit, and instead of looking at it from, hey, look at all these things that this person has that I don't, or how well they're doing that I'm not, kind of step aside and look at it from another angle and say, okay, what are these things? What are the things that this person is doing that seems to be working, and how can I learn how to that skill set
Exactly.
so that I can do the same thing, right? Not necessarily see a component or something, like copy that, but more so, you know, find other streamers that you want to be when you grow up, right? What are the things that work for those bigger streamers that you love and that you watch all the time, and how can you practice those skills? You know, is it editing in DaVinci? Is it editing in for clips? Is it practicing how to talk on camera? What is that? You know, what is that you feel like you need to learn and be better at? And then you got to put in the time, guys. There's a lot of self-development that goes into this that I don't think a lot of people really think about. You know, I think sometimes, not all, but I think sometimes you see like bigger streamers doing really great things and you're like, man, I could just start a channel, turn the camera on and go. And it's so much more than that. It's so much more. Like, not even just
Yep.
the networking and the personal, or like the personnel stuff where you're just constantly talking to people, the social media and all that, but also like building the stream stuff, like the platform the tree that we're sitting in right now. Like I'd spent hours learning how to do that. Like, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. This is hours of YouTube material here that I had to sit through. And that's just this piece. You know what I mean? You have to also put in the work. I think instead of looking at other people as far as like what they're doing or how better they're doing than me, what's the skill set that I have to learn so that I can be better than I was the day before? Like, how do I keep showing up and doing what I need to be the better version of myself? That's
Yeah. And
back to you, Com.
and that goes into
Back
and
to you.
that goes in that goes into the whole changing your mindset. So instead of being in comparison mode, you and thinking like with your emotional mind or your emotional brain, you start thinking with your logical brain. Okay, I'm not going to compare myself to this person, but I see what they're doing. I see what they're achieving. What are they doing? Can I do that? How can I learn to do that so I can be better? So that's going from a more like, uh, woe is me. Oh, I wish I could be like that. Why can't I do that? Why don't I have this many followers? More of like a feeling sorry for yourself mindset to a proactive, positive mindset to where you get into goal setting and you start thinking about learning new skills and learning that you are capable of things, you know, and not being stuck and being stagnant. You know, learning new skills is uncomfortable. It's not easy. And sometimes you may, you know, like, oh God, I don't know this. And trying to learn this, I feel dumb. This makes me feel dumb because I keep getting it wrong. But instead of stopping because it feels uncomfortable, keep going and keep pushing until you do get it and you do learn it. And then you can implement that skill that you're trying to pick up or recreate from another streamer or creator. You can do it yourself
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily copy it, but learn the skill and then make it your own and put your own identity, your own personality into it. Pretty much is what that goes into,
Yeah.
which is a huge thing. Um,
So this next bit, we're going to go into setting boundaries.
yes, boundary setting, absolutely. Um, so the setting the boundaries, which is something that I'm going through and learning myself. Setting boundaries as a creator and social content creator streamer is extremely important. Not just, I mean, it's important in your regular life for your mental health and also for your relationships, but it's also important as a creator as well, um, because what I've let me try to put this into words. ADHD moment. Um, People who respect your boundaries are not going to have an issue with you setting boundaries.
Yeah, well said.
So if you've not been setting boundaries and then you set a boundary and someone gets pissed off about it, or they try to make you feel bad about it or come at you in a certain type of negative way about it, then more than likely that person has been crossing those boundaries to begin with. And that's why they're upset. Because people who cross your boundaries are the ones who are benefiting from crossing your boundaries. So when you set that boundary and they're not going to benefit from it anymore, they're going to get pissed off.
Yeah.
So that's why boundaries are a huge thing. But also, when you set those boundaries with people, um, I tend to have a hard time because I want people to like me. Um, that's kind of hard to admit and to say, but I have issues um, from growing up and things with my parents. I had an alcoholic and addicted father who was abusive. Um, so approval and trying to get approval was a very huge thing from as long as I can remember. And so one of child, my inner child things is needing other people's approval and wanting to have other people's approval. So when I set boundaries with people, one of the biggest things that makes it so hard for me is not getting that approval or them getting upset with me because I've set a boundary. Um, but also, I realize that to be able to have a healthy relationship or have a healthy streaming career or a healthy social content creating career or things like that, I have to set those boundaries and I have to learn to be okay with people not being happy with my boundaries. And I also have to realize that the people who aren't happy with those boundaries probably aren't the people I need in my circle or, need to be concerned about in the first place.
Yep.
So, you guys, as creators, set your boundaries. If someone tries to, get you to stream when you don't want to stream, get you to do a stream that you don't want to do, get you to create content you don't want to create, or talk to you a certain way on your social media accounts or whatever, set those boundaries. You're not going to talk to me this way. We have things to do. I have things to do. I take this seriously. This is important to me. It may not be important to you, but if we're going to, you have to take what I'm doing seriously. And then another thing that Hero reminded me of was that when it comes to boundaries and how people treat you, people will treat you how you let them.
Amen. Amen.
I'm learning. I'm learning, Hero. I'm learning. If you let someone consistently cross your boundaries and you don't stand up for yourself and you don't set those boundaries, then they're going to continue to treat you that way and they're not going to take you seriously or a number of things. So if you don't set those boundaries from the beginning of your relationship or the beginning of your career or your job, or, then expect to be treated accordingly, if that makes any sense to you guys.
Yeah, I think you said something earlier that I really liked. You said boundaries aren't rejection, they're protection. And I really
Yeah.
liked that.
Yeah, it's not reject. You can't look at it as rejection, though. If you're like me and you have issues with needing approval or wanting people's approval, you're gonna have I don't know, rejection sensitivity, or whatever you want to, a name you want to give it. But it's hard. I have a issue with rejection and feeling rejected. That's also part of my ADHD. For those of you with ADHD, you may know very well what I'm talking about. But a lot of times people with ADHD and abandonment issues as well don't take rejection very well. But setting boundaries is not rejection. Setting boundaries is protecting you. It is a form of protection. So whenever you're setting those boundaries and it feels really uncomfortable, remind yourself and tell that to yourself as many times as you need to. Make post-it notes and put it on your bathroom mirror every morning so you're reminded. Boundaries are protection, not rejection. So, and that the next thing I want to talk about is trying one. I put it as a list. It says try one small thing.
A quest.
So, yes, it's a quest. We have a quest for you guys. You don't have to. A lot of people think that you have to change everything all at once to be different, or to change your life, or to change your mindset, or whatever. And that's not the way it goes. Because then you get really overwhelmed. It's overwhelming, and when you're overwhelmed, you'll start feeling like you're failing, and you'll want to give up, and you'll want to quit. So you try one small thing at a time. So you don't need a 6-step, 10-step routine to suddenly become more peaceful, or have a positive mindset, or to be able to learn how to start setting boundaries. You just need one small thing. Maybe it's to journal 5 minutes a day. First thing in the morning when you get up, journal for 5 minutes. Or before you go to bed at night, journal for 5 minutes. Journal your day for 5 minutes and get everything out. So then it will help when you do go to bed. You're not laying there with all the racing thoughts and everything going through your mind like I do on a regular basis. Or it could be sitting outside, for a certain amount of time every day, grounding yourself, or practicing mindful techniques, or some of you who were in the night shift compass discussion one day, I went over box breathing and how to do box breathing. You could add that. That could be your one small thing. Like practice box breathing for just a few minutes, like 3 or 4 rounds, once a day, every day, until it becomes habit. So we challenge you, and we are giving you a quest. This one is not a hero quest. It is a compass quest to try something new and add one small thing. And if you are in the Compass and the Cape Discord, in the Compass section, there's a space for us to discuss and talk. Let me know. Let me know what one thing you've decided to do. Let me know what your quest is and how your quest is going throughout the week. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it, because I'm not just here for you guys every other Sunday during a segment. I'm here all the time, every day. I check the Discord, and I genuinely want to know what you guys are doing and how you're doing and what you've decided. You may do something I've never thought about before that I could try and add to my mental health tool belt, So, um, before we wrap up, I do have some links that I want to share with you guys that have to do with everything that we've talked about today. And I am going to put them in the chat here. I want you guys to remember, okay, whether you're streaming tonight, you're resting, you're lurking in someone else's chat, or you're just trying to get through the day, I see you. I see you. I know you're there. I know that mental health isn't just a month, it's all the time. And I know there are other people who, after the month is over, will not ask you about your mental health, will not ask you how you're doing for the rest of the year until next May rolls around. But that is not me. And I want you guys to take care of your brain, take care of your heart. And if all you do this month is try one thing for yourself, one kind thing for yourself, then that's enough. And I am going to find those links wherever they went because I don't know where they went. Now they've disappeared.
Also, that you guys are
Zero.
not alone in this and that we're proud of you.
Yes. Yes. It makes all the difference when you know that somebody is proud of you. And knowing that you're not alone makes all the difference as well. And sometimes we get stuck in the thing where we're like, "Oh, I'm all alone. Nobody understands." And as soon as you get into that mindset, buddy, you're done for. You got to remember there are other people. They may not have been and had the same exact things happen to them that you have, but I'm sure there is somebody out there who does understand.
I got the links. I'm dropping them now.
Okay. Oh, you do?
Yep.
Well, look here. This told me I had to join Twitch, so it's not even letting me add the links. Yeah. So, what link are you sharing first? Oh, here we go. Yes. Feellikeshit.com. I figured you guys would get a kick out of that. It walks you through questions to figure out what your body or your brain body or brain needs in that moment. It's perfect if you're stuck and shut down and don't know where to start. This is for people who get overwhelmed so much, especially if you have ADHD and you just get overwhelmed and you're like, I can't even start. So you're just like stuck. You get paralyzed. So, yes, you feel like shit.com. That is a real thing, I promise. The other one is the Trevor Project.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Trevor Project, words. Let me start over. The Trevor Project is originally for the LGBTQ community and geared towards that, but they have a lot of resources that are helpful for anybody. So, if you are LGBTQ or you have loved ones who are, yes, they may know about that website already, but you don't have to be. Just loving someone makes you part of that community anyway. So the resources are everybody, and they've got some really good ones. So definitely please check them out. And there should have been one more.
Insight
Oh,
timer.
yes. Thank
Mhm.
you, Hero. The Insight Timer is a free meditation and mental wellness apps that doesn't have any locked features. So there's none of it locked. You have access to all of it. And they have really quick 5-minute resets and especially the burnout recovery. Definitely the burnout recovery I recommend. And it even has support for sleep because I know there has been some people in the community that have messaged me like, I can't sleep. I'm having issues sleeping. What can I do? Do you have any recommendations? Because I don't want to do any type of pharmaceuticals or anything like that. how can I help myself? So I've had several questions about that in my DMs that I've talked to people about. So, and last but not least, any of the information that we went over today that I've talked about, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to send you some of the information in a DM, like over Discord or something, please feel free to message me and I will give you that information and I will send it to you if you would like it as a reminder, because I forget everything, so I understand.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Well, so everyone, that was that was our very first calm moment. So,
Yes. And
yeah.
I'm so glad that you guys got to come visit my tree.
Yeah, we had a lot of really great things to share. So, with that being said, of course, we want to thank everybody for being here and for constantly supporting us, not just in the podcast, but in our individual streams, but then also each other.
Oh my gosh.
Also each other. You know, the community is great because of the love that we have for each other. And just love that mindset that we're all creating to help build each other up.
It doesn't have to be a knockout, drag out competition, like hate everybody because we're trying to achieve the same goal. It doesn't have to be that way. And kindness costs absolutely freaking nothing. It costs nothing to be kind.
You don't ever know what anybody else is actually really going through in their personal life either. And so streaming, you know, just like Com said earlier about showing up on stream a certain way and then being a different way in person, you know, sometimes, you know, the way you treat somebody on stream could literally make or break their day. And so definitely be mindful of that. Absolutely. And I think the majority of our community is really great and supportive, and we don't have to worry about that too much, but it's always something to keep in the forefront of your mind. Yeah. So with that being said, guys,
there will eventually be trolls.
Yeah. And we just kick them out and move on. So here's the thing. The podcast will be posted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. As soon as I get finished editing today, the YouTube video will be up for today's podcast. And then remember, since we have Mother's Day this coming Sunday, we're going to pre-record the hero segment. So that'll be great. So we actually won't be live Sunday. However, the content will still be out on Sunday. It'll be scheduled to be released by 2 p.m. Sunday. So we'll still stay on schedule. And I hope that everyone was able to kind of get some gold nuggets from this. And we're going to transition over into the Q&A segment. So for anybody who has any feedback or questions that they would like to have us answer, kind of hang out with us after the show, right after the outro, we'll come right back up into the tree and hang out with you guys for about 15 minutes or so. So, Calm, you have anything else to say before we let everyone go?
Watch yourselves on the way down and don't trip over the roots.
That's good. That's good. All right, guys, we love you so, so much. Thank you so much for everything, all the support. And we'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye.
Got a compass grounded in kind. The other's got a cape and a stream of state of mind. Talking burnout goals and the highs and the lows. From deep convos to streamer blow-ups. Here we go. It's the compass and the cape, finding your way. With a little bit of laughter and a lot to say. Streamer stories, healing and hype. With Hero and Calm, it's gonna be a good time. We're real, we're raw, a little messy too, but every week we're showing up for you. So plug in your heart, turn up the brain. It's the Compass and the Cape, where real talk reigns. Here for streamers, dreamers, and everyone in between. This is the place where you're heard and seen. One's got a cover, one's got a compass grounded and kind. The other's got a cape and a streaming state of mind. Talking burnout goals and the highs and the lows, from deep convos to streamer blow-ups. Here we go! It's the Compass and the Cape, finding your way, with a little bit of laughter and a lot to say. Streamer stories, healing and hype, with Hero and Calm, it's gonna be a good time. It's the Compass and the Cape, finding your way, with a little bit of laughter and a lot to say. Streamer stories, healing and hype, with Hero and Calm, it's gonna be a good time. We're real, we're all a little messy too, but every week we're showing up for you. So plug in your heart, turn up the brain. It's the Compass and the Cape, where real talk reigns. Here for streamers, dreamers, and everyone in between. This is the place where you're heard and seen.
We're back. Let's go.
Yay!
Come on. Awesome.
The Compass and the Cape. You know, I have a complaint. I can't hear the song.
No way.
I can't hear it.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
during the transitions, I can't hear it. So I just see everybody's emotes and I can't hear anything. So I'm just like,
Oh, dang. Oh, dang. So, we got the first one out of the first calm
the
moment
first call
in the
session.
books.
Calm moment.
Yeah,
Yay!
hopefully that brought a lot of like gold nuggets your way.
Yeah, I really hope you guys got some stuff out of that to help you. And a lot of those, and most of the time when I'm talking about stuff or like the TikToks that I make and things like that, it's stuff that I am either currently dealing with, I have dealt with in the past, or I see some of you all struggling with. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I make this a topic to talk about, or maybe if I make a TikTok about this and I learn more about this and techniques, that maybe they will see the TikTok and it will help them. Or maybe they'll hear the conversation and it will help them. Or maybe reading about this topic will help me. Because I learn a lot from this too. So, it sounds like a calm problem. Yes, thank you, War. But yeah, I hope y'all got something out of it, at least something. And if there's something that I'm always up for suggestions. We should have a suggestion box that I put up on our page, on the Compass and the Cape page.
Yeah.
At the bottom near the About Me section. If you guys have a suggestion about something that you would like, either one of us, a hero session or a calm moment, that you would like us to talk about or go over, please put it in the suggestion box.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have something that you would like us to do a little differently, or something didn't sit right with you or whatever during the thing, not that we'll necessarily change it, but we are open to hear your thoughts and suggestions. So please do that.
Yeah. So I just want to, I know I was really thankful or going through thanking everybody for being on, but we see you. I've been glancing over at chat, like,
Me too.
just checking everybody out. So Pancakes, Sal Capone, Baka, Karma, Gypsy, Bertz, Evil Alice, War, of course. And then we saw some pals earlier on. I think Telki said that him and Whooped and Necro were all watching. So that was cool. Thank you guys so much for being here. So much.
Yeah.
Real koala.
I saw that.
So glad everyone could make it.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys so much.
So don't forget, guys, if you guys want to be featured, you want to be featured in one of our podcasts, but then also you have an event coming up that you'd love a shout out for, just to help bring awareness to your event, please go to the Discord. I'll drop it in here again so that you can join. But leave your events or whose segment you'd want to be a part of.
Yeah, it's under the events. For your events, it's under the community section, and the
There's
it'll
a
say
promotion.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just made the channel this morning, you guys. So, and make sure you put all your information in there, like what day it's going to be, what the
Time.
times are, any links, like if there's a link to sign up for something, any of that, please put all that information in there. And then other people can see it, be aware of it. And then me or Hero or both of us can even make some TikToks about it and put it out there so other people can be aware of your event that's happening, and we can share that.
Yeah, Pancake said today in an hour with you both.
Yeah,
Captain.
Yes,
You're
Captain
in for a
Pancakes.
treat. I think you came in after my tutorial story.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to go back and
tell
listen to that.
Pancakes about your story.
Yeah, but
I am not an NPC.
yeah, it was a good time. Basically, a rando popped into my mission, and I thought he was an NPC, and I legit treated him like an NPC the whole time.
It was
awful.
Pancakes. When she told me about that this morning, I was like, "You have to tell this story on the podcast right off the bat. As soon as we start, you got to tell everybody about your Helldivers 2 tutorial."
Yeah, it's wasn't a good time for them, but it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. We'll try to make you proud, Captain.
Oh yeah, no, that's not happening.
I'll try.
It all
No
relies
promises.
on Hero. I'm just gonna try not to get lost.
So I was telling Calm I won't stream that one. I won't stream tonight, but for the rest of the week I will.
Yeah, I'm not either. The mission do not include killing me. Oh wait,
Oops.
can we kill our captain?
Yeah,
Is that
well,
a
you
thing?
can kill.
For real?
Yeah, because I actually accidentally killed the rando in the tutorial, or earlier, because I shot right through him and killed him, and I was like, "Ooh, at least it was an NPC."
Captain Pancakes, you're in trouble. I'm gonna make sure I have plenty of grenades.
But yeah, so we'll do I don't want to keep you guys too long, and then we've got to suit up and get ready for some Helldivers 2 action. So
Ooh. Does anybody have any questions or comments that you want to tell us, or have anything you want to ask us?
Yep.
After this session?
What do you feel like?
The floor is open.
Yeah, a good question is what was the biggest takeaway? What did you guys resonate with the most? What did you resonate with the most, Calm?
The better question would be, what did I not resonate with?
Oh, Karma
most?
said comparison.
Comparison, yeah.
Baka said that it's not always seen or obvious. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's both of those. Yeah. It's really hard, Baka, not being seen or not feeling seen. It really is.
Gypsy says,
or if
oh, go ahead, Calm.
I was going to say, or even like if you have family or friends who know and they refuse to acknowledge. That's a big one. That's a big one. They refuse to acknowledge that that you have a mental illness, or that even mental health exists.
Yeah. Yeah. Gypsy says balancing supporting people and being active and doing all the side work after streams. Is there a way some people do it and still don't feel burnout? Woo! That's a good question.
A very good question, Z. Very good question.
Let's see. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
on.
because
No, Gypsy says I feel like I'm on 7 days a week, even if I don't
Mhm.
stream, and I don't feel like I'm doing
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, I think that's
Well,
a
I'll tell
common
you, like,
theme for those
yeah,
of us that like
yesterday,
really support.
Gypsy, I didn't stream yesterday, but there was a point in time I was still at the computer and I was still working on things, doing things, interacting, networking, talking to people on Discord, trying to do TikTok, and then finally I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I got up and I walked away and I went and hung out and watched TV with my son in his room for like an hour or so because I realized like mentally like I need to get away from here. So when you get that feeling, when you start getting that feeling, a lot of times at first we ignore that and we keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But when you start getting that feeling, you need to listen to it and then just walk away.
Yeah, Baka said sometimes I don't even say lurk, or I tab and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't be everywhere at once.
Oh, this is
And,
good. Gypsy
what?
said, I'm worried if I'm not there all the time, I'll lose support back.
I will lose support back. Yeah. I think that kind of goes into what we were talking about building your foundation and having a good community
Mm-hmm.
because they will understand you can't be there 24/7 and you can't be everywhere at once and you have a life
Mm-hmm.
out from behind your computer or your console.
Yeah. Baka said in a good community, it shouldn't happen. And that's exactly right.
Right. Right.
Oh, yeah. War said, enter your quote. You can never say the wrong thing to the right people, and there's only the right people in the room. And I use
That's
that a
right.
lot, even in this community, too. Gypsy and everyone else, you move with the intention, like, and in the energy of your authentic self, and you be your authentic self all the way through, no matter what. And those who are your people will stick around and they'll support you through it. And if you
And
drop
they will,
support, those aren't your people. They're
yep,
not. They're part of the
they
follow
will
for
gravitate
follow or
towards you.
something. Yeah.
They will gravitate towards you and towards that energy that you're putting off.
Yeah. I think in the beginning, a lot of this, everybody looks at streaming as like this follow for follow. And then it turns into like this toxic where people are like, they feel entitled to you and your time, and where they're like, oh, I came to your stream and I followed, but you didn't do something for me.
Preach!
Yeah.
Preach!
And sorry, but this is not how, this isn't that place. There are places like that, but that's not here. And it shouldn't be, it's not, and shouldn't be this community either. So, and I have
Yeah.
had to tell people, because that, boom, that follows right into boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Yep.
can't let somebody
Again,
come into your
boundaries.
stream and make commands, you know what I mean? Give you orders to
Yeah.
follow, do things for
No.
them because they follow you. Please hit
No.
unfollow, because that's not
Yeah.
what this is, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and when you have the follow for follow, because I mean, in the beginning, like it's kind of about numbers in the beginning, you know, because you have to have so many numbers to do this or whatever. But you have to go into that thinking that, for right now, this is happening, but it's not going to stay that way. Because when you're doing just follow for follow, a lot of those follow for follows are just going to fall away.
Mm-hmm.
So you may wake up one morning and you may have had this many followers, and then the next morning you may wake up and you've only got this many.
Yeah. Evil just said, I see it this way. You lose one and gain two that really want to be here. And
Right.
yeah, I love that. Karma
Yeah,
said something
this
really great
happened to me
too.
too, Gyps. Yeah.
Karma said, sometimes I misinterpret follow for follow people as friends, and it hurts when I see them go from friends to following. And does that not sound so similar to a very same conversation we had yesterday? That's crazy.
I know nothing. I know nothing. No. Karma, me and you. Yeah, I've had that very same conversation. Well, Hero had that very same conversation with me. And what did you tell me, Hero?
The same thing I always say. If they're meant to be here, they
Which is?
will. And I mean, real friends, if they're meant to be, they'll be there. The ones who fall off, they're not friends, guys. You know? The friends, they show up as actual friends and they do real friends things instead of just shoot you a follow. You know what I mean? They actually have conversations with you. They jump in your stream and they keep up with what's going on in your life. They ask you how you're doing and how can I support you? Like you talk on and off stream. Things like that.
Yeah, Bert's he said, I had a friend who dealt with that recently. She had a viewer that gifted lots of subs, but because of that, he felt entitled to act up in her stream, and she ended up privately messaging him to set those boundaries regardless of the gifts. Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
that's a very good example.
Wow.
Yeah, just because somebody subs to you, sends you bits, or if you have a throne extension and they pay for you to have some kind of gift or whatever, or send you something, that in no way entitles them to anything. It does not entitle them to affect your peace and your space. Your
Yeah.
stream is your space. It is a space that is supposed to be safe for you. It's supposed to be safe for your community, and it is not entitled them to come in and screw it up and wreak havoc and anxiety for other people.
Yeah. Yeah. You also remember, guys, you don't have control over what anybody else does or says or how they
Nope.
act. You only have control over yourself and however you react to the situation. So if somebody comes in and they shower you with all these gifts and things, just like Baka said earlier, sometimes it's just a matter of communication and making sure you're on the same page. I had somebody gift me lots of things. A few, maybe like last month or month before. And I knew that person did that with their own free will. There was no conversation beforehand about them giving me anything. And I had zero expectation of returning anything. So, and made that clear after there was a conversation. But I mean, things like that need to be had for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, first time chat.
Yeah.
What's
Hello.
good?
Welcome.
Hi, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for your support and showing up. I still have mates I haven't talked to in years that I know when I see them next, we can catch up over a beer and get back to business like it's 2016. Internet validation only has as much power as you allow yourself to give it.
Yeah. That's
Amen.
good.
That is a great quote. Yes. Thank
What's good,
you.
Wavy Baby? Love it. That's great.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm going to give Wavy Baby a follow.
Yeah,
I'm going to go check
absolutely.
you out.
Do that
Yeah.
too. Wavy Baby, you're among other friends and streamers here, so everyone make sure that they're following each other and supporting each other. And don't forget, the Nightbot just dropped links to the community events that are happening throughout this week.
Yes.
So please hop over, follow these streamers if you're not already, but then ask them for the specifics of their events. So, with that being said, guys, we're going to give you back the rest of your Sunday, but thank you so much for being here. And They are not on Twitch right now. Like, what do you mean exactly, Gypsy? Are they actually live? Because their events are throughout the week. And Baby Lee's is on the 7th.
Yeah.
Oh, Wavy Baby. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Thank you so much for being here. And just know that we love you. We're so grateful for all the support, not just for what you give for us, but also the support that you give each other, because that stuff matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, guys. So with that, we're going to let you go. Thanks so much again. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.